The Ministry of Finance is advancing the one state, one RRB policy through a significant consolidation, moving from 43 RRBs to 28. What does this latest phase mean for the future of rural banking in India? This phase aims to enhance RRB efficiency by optimizing technology, capital, and operational scale, while preserving their unique closeness to rural communities. An important aspect of this policy is the reduction in the number of sponsor banks from 12 to just 8. State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, and Bank of Baroda currently sponsor the highest number of RRBs and are expected to play a leading role in this transformation. The future of RRBs in Northeast India will be crucial to observe. The region includes some of the smallest RRBs in the country, like Nagaland Rural Bank, which will require special attention during this restructuring. To know all the progress with the RRB amalgamation, Colonel had a detailed conversation with the AIRRBEA Secretary General Venkateshwar Reddy.
Actually, let us look at the formation of the RRBs. RRBs have come into the picture in the banking scenario in the country when the whole vision of the country was towards social justice, taking the independence fruits to the nook and corner and the rural areas. Coming to banking area also, commercial banks were nationalized, and after that also they were not opening rural branches, they are not moving forward. Commercial bank unions were opposing to transfer of rural the staff to the rural areas. So they were viewing that the opening of rural branches of commercial banks is a cost factor, and staff are reluctant to go. Their orientation mindset is different. So to have an exclusive rural oriented and particularly concentrating only towards the small and marginal farmers, those who are not access to the banking scenario. That was the concept, and the regional banks were formed 75. The sole mission of the country was social justification. Nationalization 69, then 75 this came. So the purpose of opening was successful, satisfactory. At that time, the Dantwale committee came, Kelkar committee came, all appreciated. The parliamentary academicians and financial experts, they looked at that from that angle. The RRB Act, taking banking service to nook and corner at doorsteps of the rural people, and credit to the small marginal farmers and below poverty line people and rural artisans. That was successful. So model was successful. Then immediately from 80s onwards, they just rapid increase in the banks. 196 Gramin banks covering each and every district. That was good. Regional orientation. The purpose of regional rural banks was India is a vast country. Each district, each region has specific problems, specific socio-economic conditions. To suit to that particular environment, RRBs were designed to have a decentralized, to design each RRB as its own statutory board, represented by RBI, NABARD, sponsor bank, government, central, state. So it's a very good combination. They can design their own schemes suitable to that particular area, and in a simpler form, regional, local language, vernacular form. So taking banks to the doorsteps was successful. Up to 1990, 196 banks opened, and never government expected any profit or reserves from this, nor their function, they were thought in that line. They were only measured from the angle of how many small farmers, marginal farmers, how many rural artisans below poverty line been covered under credit. 500 rupees we were giving. 1,000 was the biggest loan those days. And inculcating the habit of banking. That was one more objective. So those days, our people started going door to door, carrying a camera also. 5 rupees we were opening up. So this purpose was success. The mission was successful up to 1990. Government had no second thoughts. But once the policy has changed at the national level, macro level, that privatization, globalization, competition, these things have come, sir, viability, they changed their mindset towards RRBs also. They started measuring it from profitability. 1990, up to that, never a word of profitability, sustainability came. So, but from our side, this was a successful model, very good model going to the rural nook and corner. But when the question of viability came, in the name of that, government when started withdrawing one after the other benefits and support to the RRBs, particularly earlier up to 1990, there was a relaxation in CRR, cash reserve ratio, SLR, there was this relaxation. And whoever the sponsor bank officials came here for management, the sponsor banks were bearing the salaries. And our remittance to the RBI, NABARD, different sponsors, it was free of cost. These are all the relaxations, and one after the other, government has started withdrawing all, and one after the other, government started to impose the global norms, regulatory norms, like any private bank, commercial bank, and public sector. So, in that circumstances, from our side, we started regional rural bank concept, the character of rural orientation, regional character should be continued. But at the same time, viability aspect, we have also started focusing on viability. Then in that period, first, though from the very inception, 1977, AIRRBEA started, we wanted an exclusive, instead of this different sponsor banks, managements and all that, the RRBs are created by Parliament. Parliament for a common approach and common goal, rural India. Though regional orientation was also there, we started Rural Bank for Rural India was our slogan since 1977. So in the coming context of this profitability, sustainability, again we have resumed that. Yes, Rural Bank for Rural India should be formed, and the government of India's directions or whatever their views are there, they should be rightly percolated down. Why in between different sponsor bank, differently interpreting and differently implementing, and they are more focusing on commercial aspects of sponsor bank. And more day by day they started focusing on their own interests, the sponsor bank interest rather than the RR. So we started our demand, total delinking from sponsor bank and formation of national rural bank with state level RRBs. Still our demand is state that for retaining the regional rural character, that state, we have gone a little bit beyond this 186 banks to one state, one RRB, and over that apex body, a controlling body of National Rural Bank. That was in principle approved by a committee, 92, a committee of RBI, NABARD and government representatives were there. They announced it to the press, media, but could not be materialized. Subsequently, in 93, there was a parliamentary standing committee on finance. This issue was taken up by them. They also recommended NRBA. It is not just association demand. And subsequently in 2003, again, this matter came for the parliamentary standing committee on finance. Again, they have recommended. So a lot of background is there. But in between, from the beginning to till now, originally there were only one association. We were the association, oldest and longest. Since 1975 to 82, there was no other association. After that, one organization came, but they were also not demanding this merger. They were also demanding strengthening of rural bank. Subsequent to our Supreme Court winning the case towards parity, then tribunal formation, slowly up to 1990, almost all the commercial bank unions started open their outlets here. When RRBs were formed, when RRB employees were in real trouble and no service condition, nothing, no sponsor bank union came forward to support us. We approached everybody. They said, no, this is different setup. We cannot come and intervene in this matter. Ours is a different. Rather, it's a fact. Narsimham committee, before finalizing its report, they consulted the unions, commercial bank union that time. So that way, their consensus was taken up. That yes, we have no objection. You open with low salaries and differently service condition like. So that way they were shying away to support us or coming directly help us. But once we started gaining our own identity in the society, RRBs playing a vital role, and when we started getting some improvements, benefits with service condition, Supreme Court, then tribunal award came, one after the other, everybody came. And right from their entrance in RRBs, while we are demanding every time strengthening of rural banking system and strengthening of rural credit system, and that is the RRBs are the only medium to take forward banking service to rural areas. Day by day, government schemes, central, state, everything started flowing through the banks. So this is the right medium that has to be strengthened. Delinked from sponsor banks. That was our demand. But whereas these commercial bank unions, the moment they started here, they are minority, here and 2%, 3%, 4%. With only ulterior motive. They don't have any agenda for strengthening of RRBs or continuing or welfare of the employees. They started luring the employees through the chairman and general manager and the deputy officer, all of them are their members in the commercial bank. Through them, they started to divide us. They started to support the rival association. And their demand from the beginning is, for all the issues, you merger in sponsor bank. Grameen banks, you merger in sponsor bank, their demand. Whereas in the RRB Act, there is no provision for merger of RRBs and sponsor. There is no provision. There is only one provision under section 23(1), that is amalgamation of two or more RRBs. That provision is there. You can be amalgamated among themselves, but not with the sponsor banks. But contradictorily, totally, diagonally opposite, they started demanding merger. They tried to lure the employees, saying that if merge, you will get all the benefits of sponsor banks. That is the only way. If you merge automatically without any fight, struggle, you can get all the things ready-madely available. But we have told that is a bogus propaganda. These banks have come for a real purpose, to serve a real purpose. There is a need of continuing rural banks, exclusive banks. For the rural India, 70% population was there, now 65% still there. So there is a need of exclusive national level rural bank for the country. That is our version. Simultaneously, the employees, whoever are working here, they need to be given at par like commercial banks, all service conditions, pay scales, to not to have any feeling of discrimination and to work sincerely for the goals of the RRBs. That is our aim. So that way we are continuing, and therefore never from government side there was a proposal for merger. Now and then some sponsor bank officials, some people who are not really correctly aware of the RRB, they started saying, no. Whenever one bank gets profit, loss, this, they just from the angle of profit service, this, they used to say, no, merger, that should be merged. Instead of tackling the issue, they were going alternatively, they were actually winding up. Merger means, in one word, we can say merger of RRBs sponsor bank, winding up the rural bank system. That's all. Once merged, there is no word called regional rural bank, will not be the Grameen bank. Second thing, once merged, we are directly witnessing minimum 50% of the branches will be closed. Minimum. Commercial bank and state bank merged with associate banks, or more than 5,000 branches closed. When Bank of Baroda merged with Dena Bank, and they have closed more than 1,500 branches. Similarly, Indian Bank, in all the mergers, branches were closed, staff were reduced. That is a different story. But RRBs, there is no provision, one angle. Second angle, in amalgamation is totally different from merger. Amalgamation, one district RRB has branches, and in another district, another RRB. We are joining, knitting India. So it adds strength to the structure. There is no overlapping of the branches. Unlike in commercial banks, they have overlapping branches are there. Here there is no overlapping. Every RRB has its own distinctive area of operation. So by joining, strength is all through our argument was that strength will come in, inbuilt strength will come, and if they can function more perfectly, more well, and economies to scale will come. Now we have about 196 boards, 196 head offices. That reduction of sponsored banks administrative cost will come down. So that will enhance the functioning performance. That was our argument. And finally, that I said 93, 2003 Parliamentary Standing Committee referred, and we were hesitating continuously. In this context, they have formed one Professor Vyas committee, Reserve Bank. So he recommended this. As a via media, directly not National Rural Bank, but this amalgamation of two or more RRBs can be amalgamated. Using that provision, he said, in a phased manner, each state one RRB can be formed. That's all. Not National Bank was not there in his idea. So that process ultimately started in 2005, amalgamation. So in the first phase, they amalgamated same sponsor bank, same state within that. So from 196 it came down to 82 Grameen banks. And results were good. Once the amalgamation started, the results, their vibrancy has come in the system. Branches were opening, more people were joining, business was there. Almost from 1992, 2008, there was a stagnation in the expansion of branches. Branches have reduced, came down. Staff strength has come down, 70,000 it has come down to 68,000 at one point of time. There sort of almost a stagnation, morbidity was coming. Once the 2005, this process started, they started to feel the results. The vibrancy came, the business was increasing, volumes were increasing. Then they went for second phase of amalgamation across the sponsor bank within the state. So that process started in 2012, and continued up to 2019. 2019 was the last amalgamation in Bank of Baroda, Uttar Pradesh Gramin Bank. So in that way, now it has come down to 43. So definitely, now it is clear, the vision is before. What we were telling earlier, now it has proved to be a fact. With the amalgamations, lot of administrative cost came down, and business wise also, the larger size of bank, larger capital, business increased. Number of branches almost from 14,500 to it has come to over 22,000 branches now. So that way, government also started feeling the pulse. Yes, this is helping us. We should go ahead. So last 2 years, particularly, our demand was there continuously. Last 2 years, government has came to a conclusion. Yes, we have exposed in every aspect what way the sponsor bank playing negative. They are the management. They are also competitors. We have a branch side by there is a sponsor bank branch also. Our management coming and sitting in the head office as chairman, general manager, deputy officer, they are helping their branches than our branch. Whatever good business comes to us, they are diverting. Whatever good proposals come to us, good opportunities are, clearly they are taking. And particularly, those deputy officers sitting in head office as controlling officers, they are pressurizing our people to divert our staff energies towards fulfilling their business, cross-selling business, insurance, mutual fund, and whatever the sponsor bank, they are showing our finance is there under their category. The priority sector finance, no sponsor bank is able to make up to 40%. No sponsor bank. No sponsor bank is able to make up to 18% agriculture. So RRB business they are showing. Our RRB business at the end of March they are transferring to sponsor bank and they are giving us some bigger business. For the 3 months, 6 months, the RBI has provided that provision also is given. That swap over of priority sector business response, they can show in under them. They can avoid penalties to government RBI and about that. So this way they are using RRBs for their interest, their benefit. We have exposed sufficiently. Government also now started understanding. Yes, sponsor banks once upon a time 28 were there. Now due to amalgamations and due to mergers among them, the sponsor bank, it has come down to 12. So now 2 years back, when we started approaching this continuously, we have been campaigning with among different political parties, MPs, organizationally we have been continuously demanding. We have been conducting seminars and meetings and involving the academicians and financial experts. So all of them, we are bringing about a consensus towards this national rural bank and separated rural bank. So that way, 2 years back, when the concept started, first we had a very long discussion with this President Additional Secretary 2 years back in the presence of Kishan Rao Karat, Minister of Finance, State. So that day, in principle, they shown interest. They wanted to sit again. Second time also we sat again. So they said, yes, this is in principle fine. But up to one state, one RRB, there is no need of any legislative changes in the act. So that can be done, definitely. But beyond that, formation of NRBA and that structure, it needs to be done by a cabinet approval. Cabinet approval is required and legislative changes are required. That will go up to state level. So beyond that, you may pursue and we will also pursue at a higher level. It has to be done at the cabinet level and prime minister level also. So that way an understanding has been reached and in that note has been put up to FM, Nirmala Sitharaman, and she has accepted in principle 2 years back for formation of state level RRBs. And she was also announced in the review meetings. But in between what happened, one particular case is there, Andhra Pradesh Gramin Vikas Bank. That has become the hurdle. All banks amalgamation were going on, but AP, GVB, since state was bifurcated to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, the bank was functioning in both the states. So the bank has to be bifurcated. They have taken that decision. 2014, state bifurcated in June. October, Government of India has issued a notification to bifurcate the APGB. October 14. But till now it could not be materialized. Reason is that 15% share of state government is there. Combined state share government. So among that, for that sake, government need to take the opinion of the state governments, both the state governments. So both the state governments are every time differing, and that is one of the best performing banks. About 7,000 crores reserves are there. So on that, everybody wants a bigger share, and basing on business, government and NABARD, they recommended basing on business, but they wanted one state wanted on population basis, and sometimes this has become a bone of contention, and several, more than 50 to 100 meetings have taken place, several committees were convened. That has become a bone of contention, and FM said, you sort out first that one, then you go ahead for amalgamation. because of that decision, almost for 2 years nothing could be happened. So in a recent meeting about 3 months back, they decided finally, no, why it has been stuck up? Why? What is the reason? They said this is it. And you call both the chief secretaries of both the state governments at secretary DFS level. You pursue it. They pursued that as put fail. So then FM said, no, keep it aside. You pursue separately. For that sake, don't stop others. Simultaneously proceed with all others. Where there is no problem at all, particularly Karnataka is there. Earlier, Syndicate Bank was one RRB, sponsored RRB, and Canara Bank was one sponsored. So both were differing. That time, when proposal came for amalgamation, both were claiming and finally it was stopped. Now both are under one fold, Canara Bank only. Syndicate Bank is merged in Canara Bank. So there is no problem at all. So that way, now FM has told you process others. Why do you stop all the other things for the sake of APGP? So they've started processing, and already under secretary, DFS has been entrusted with their job. Consultations among DFS with NABARD is going on, with RBI is going on. So they have come to a rough picture, but that needs to be they needs consultation among sponsor banks and also state governments. Again, once during 2020 December, they have taken by through that time it was COVID. Through video conference, they had a meeting with all the RRB chairmen. They have taken no objections, but they felt now we need to take again. That time also 75% of the states, they said okay for that. One state, one RRB. Now again, they will put forward this formula, one state, one RRB is the government of India's decision. And only they need to consult for state governments with regard to where should be the headquarter and the sponsor banks, where should be the, which will be the sponsor bank, and what will be the name, these three things, and the chairman has to be proposed by sponsor bank. This process they want to complete before December. And fortunately, on 4th, 2 days back, there was a meeting. Secretaries called between the both the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana officers, top officials, and State Bank of India chairman, NABARD chairman were also present. Fortunately, on the bifurcation issue also, consensus has been arrived now. So when we spoke to DFS officials, they said, so luckily this is also is going to be completed. So as of now, before December, they want to finish up the roadmap, or 2 or 3 RRBs amalgamation also they may go ahead. And before March 25, one state, one RRB means now say taking from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Bengal, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, these are two RRBs, Orissa is there. So almost likely to about 14 RRBs are likely to be amalgamated with one other RRB. And mostly they are going by the stronger Grameen Bank, whichever is strong, it will be amalgamated. Amalgamated is not merger. Amalgamation, no bank will lose its identity. A new bank will be formed by joining both. New name will come. And nobody will lose seniority or anything like that. Merger, that happens. Merger, one bank loses its identity, other bank will be continuing, and the seniority, the problems are there, other problems are there. Here this is both joining together. Staff-wise also it is welcoming, we always welcome. And also the factor that nobody feels that we are married and we are losing identity, a new headquarter, everything, new notification, gazette notification. So that way, now another up to 6 sponsor banks will be reduced. Where one sponsor banks having only one RRB, UCO Bank is there, Bank of Maharashtra is there, like Indian Overseas Bank. One RRB is there, Jammu Kashmir Bank. So they want to reduce it to now 6, most probably 6 sponsor bank, and it will come down to about 28 RRBs, 28. But for Northeast, they are going by with cautiously there. Northeast, they have a formula that Vyas also recommended, we also have that idea that entire Northeast should be made into one. Unlike other states, one state, one RRB. Northeast, because Nagaland is a small bank with 12 branches. Arunachal is a small bank. Manipur is there, 30 branches, 40 branches. So they cannot be viable in long run. It is very difficult. Now coming to the viability sustainability, this question is coming. So there we also suggested, but our people also, from our side also we have got a lot of reservations from that our units there. But we are demanding for Northeast, there should be a separate discussion. The local autonomy, the regional offices should be continued at state level. The regional autonomy, regional transferability, the language barriers, all that, considering all that, only for the sake of financial strength, balance sheet strength. entire North should be also made into one. Though that the vast committee's recommendation, it will be 21 RRBs all over India. It's one state, one RRB. So next step is only one step less is for NRB, national. So we feel, fortunately, coincidentally, this is golden jubilee year, 50th year of formation of RRBs. So we have started on second, we have started Srikakulam, and today also this is the function, but we want to take into public also, customers, masses and other politicians also. There in Srikakulam, we have involved that Central Union Cabinet Minister for Civil Aviation, Ramohan Naidu, and also one local MLA. But we want to, that is not sufficient, we have to take forward to more and more MPs and more people to be covered. So that this whole year we will launch a campaign towards NRB. One state, one RRB is now almost confirmed. Only just finalized, it should be finalized on the big paper. So NRB we are focusing. That will be really benefiting, not just from the employee side. Now 6 RR sponsor banks will be remaining. Our demand is to totally eliminate the sponsor bank. Not required. No bank has its own deputed officer said, let the chairman or ED, be from the open market. Like Canara Bank is a chairman, not from his own man. ED, they will be open market. They will be recruited from open market. NABARD chairman is an open market. Like that, it should be from an open market, not a sponsor bank. No sponsor bank should have that. The focus, autonomy should be there. Autonomy should be there. The RRB, whatever the bank is going to it should function in its own strengths and weaknesses, not depending upon directions, dictates of the sponsor bank. So that way, now what we are demanding, whole year the campaign will be financial aspects. We have taken care almost, that will be going to be finalized. Finally, it will be coming with the parity aspect in all aspects, going to be coming to a maturity final stage. So our more thrust will be structure. And the main problem, another problem we have been focusing is government itself, as per RRBA, is the authority to determine the manpower policy. They have determined Mitra committee, but no sponsor bank is following. Again, the sponsor bank is the problem. So if we recruit number of employees, as per that Mitra government approved policy, it is about 55,000 employees are short. 50, as per their own policy. Their sponsor banks always think recruiting a person means they think that it is this much proportion loss. It's not loss. It is addition to business. He will not come and simply eat and sleep. He will add some business. He will add some outreach. The problem now is the staff is not sufficient or unable to expand our business and cater properly to the customer services. Customer services are slowly being depleted. This is one aspect. Second aspect is now it is a IT age, technology age. All banks, even a small local bank or cooperative bank, also coming with the latest technology. Despite governments continued from 2011, they have been tested. And for last 2 years particularly, Nirmala Sitharaman personally, FM, highest authority in the country, personally from July 23, 22, continuously reviewing for upgradation of technology on par with sponsor. But after 2 years of persuasion by highest authority, no sponsor bank is given total technology whatever they have. No bank, state bank, they're just simply denying, ignoring, but on paper telling we are giving. Even today, about 32 banks don't have UPI. That is the minimum need nowadays. Mobile banking, net banking, these are the minimum features. Even rural areas, people are educated and going abroad, and even rural areas also they are becoming technology savvy. So that is the need of their, for want of that, people are migrating. Our loyal customers are going away to other banks. That we want to arrest, stop that. We are again and again taking up with government. They are also slowly coming to our line. The technology should, we are not against technology. Technology for better services to the customers. And we want parity to the, not only to the employees, parity in service conditions to employees, no, parity to the customers also. RRB customers should be no way discriminated with the customers of the commercial bank, sponsor bank. All facilities, benefits that are available to customers of sponsor bank should also be available to RRB customers. That is our parity, extension of our parity. So here, NRB will be definitely, it will be a viable picture, and also it will be in the long, now it is, we have about 11 lakh crore business, 40 crore customers we are telling. That by their own measurements, finance ministry is acclaiming, it is praising, it's a good performance they are telling, but we are not satisfied. We are confident if given the proper manpower, that 55,000 manpower. There are regular daily wages are there. This is a public sector bank. They are being put to exploitation without names. They are not being paid the minimum wages. There is a sanctioned post. Some staff is a sanctioned post. No sponsor bank is recruiting for last 20 years. So thereby, the daily wages are being engaged and exploited. They are being taken service of the regular employee. So we want regulation of all of them. Recently, we have won 3-4 cases up to Supreme Court for regularizing the daily wages. That should be implemented to all. So these, if you remove these hurdles, that parity hurdles, so if you give the sufficient inputs, staff and this technology, we are confident that when Shaji NABARD chairman was discussing, he was telling, can you make it 25 lakh crore, he said. We'll make it 50 lakh crore, I told. 50 lakh crore, we can make that much of potentiality is there in rural areas. The sponsor banks are the hurdles, they are not able to allow us to freely function. So our focus will be towards this. And staff, because of dearth of staff, there is work-life balance, imbalance is there. A lot of people are migrating. They are resigning and leaving the banks. Attrition is high. All this on account of one is pay, service conditions. Second condition is continuously working rurally under the dictations of the sponsor bank, against the wills and goals of the RRBEA. So if our focus will be on this aspect, functional, organizational aspect. The they should be more stabilized and become strong. That will be better for the rural India also, and we are telling the government also, people also, who are in the ruling position. The MPs, it's a very good proposition. It will be useful for you also and also the people. Merger, and again coming back to this, merger means why no government is prepared to take up it. Merger means they know pretty well. Every 10-15 kilometers there is a Grameen Bank. Merger means winding up of the name of the Grameen Bank will be gone. In that place, Canara Bank, State Bank name will come. Definitely their services are totally different from our services. And 50% branches will be closed. That will affect their vote bank. Politically they will hit at that point. They are sensitive to that. They know that. These commercial bank means not knowing anything, not studying. Simply they formalize, merge. That will never happen. There is no provision that will never happen. That is disastrous to the rural economy and rural banking.
As the one state, one RRB policy nears finalization, its broader implications will depend on how effectively it is implemented. The road ahead is one of potential and reform for rural India.